Good morning, beautiful people. Welcome back to Spill the Tea Lou. My name is Lou. It is Sunday, just before Christmas, which means I am, of course, working today, but I can't go to work without leaving you guys with a video. So today I want to talk about discipline. Discipline within the Premier League. I want to talk red cards. I want to talk yellow cards. I want to talk penalties awarded. I want to talk how the refs are behaving. I want to talk how the teams are behaving. And I just wanted to have a look at it mostly for my own interest, because it's something I've been thinking about all season. And I thought, well, maybe if I'm interested, you are going to be interested as well. So I decided I would do just a nice quick video out of it. Now, please do smash a like on your way into the video. It does make a massive, massive difference. Obviously, I'm trying to grow the channel. It takes some time when you're only starting out. And the more people like the video, the more YouTube shows the video to other people. So please, please do like the video. It's really, really appreciated. Also, if you're new, please do subscribe. We're trying to grow the gang. We're trying to grow the community around here. It's a nice, just chilled out, chat with some friends, talk about football type of channel. It's not like debate to the death. It's not a super stressy football channel. It's pretty chilled out. All fans are welcome. All clubs are welcome. All opinions are welcome. You are more than welcome to come along, share your opinion, especially if it's different than mine. Once you do it respectfully, you get it all off your chest. So, like I said, please do smash a like. Please do subscribe. Delighted to have you here. And thank you for sharing some of your Sunday with me before we get more madness later on today. So what I really wanted to take a look at, I was starting to feel like, is this season gone mad? We're not even at Christmas. It feels like we'll have loads of reds. I'm looking at Chelsea here. I'm thinking there's loads of reds. There's loads of penalties. It just feels like there's constantly. Now, I know we always give out about the referees and VAR. It seems to be the only consistent thing every season is that we're giving out about the referees and VAR. But I did feel a little bit like this season, it seems to be more than ever. There seems to be more controversial decisions. We seem to be talking about VAR and the referees more than ever. And it feels like there's constantly, not only every single week, every single match, there seems to be a new penalty, red card, yellow card decision. And I thought, is it in my head? Is it my recency bias? Or are we actually seeing more and more red cards, more and more penalties, more and more yellow cards, and more indiscipline on the pitch, and more referees wanting to involve themselves in the game? And I thought, well, let's see, and you know I'm not normally a stats type of person, but let's see if the numbers match up to the vibe or if it just feels chaotic. So I have been on FOTMob this morning, and let me share with you what I have discovered, because actually I was a little bit surprised. So maybe you will be as surprised as I was. So first of all, I want to take a look at the penalties awarded. Now, what I've done is I've had a look at this season, which obviously is an incomplete season. So we're going to work on that. Don't worry about it. And then I looked at last year and the year before. So I'm just doing 3 years. It's not going to take 6 lifetimes. And I've already done the maths before I started recording the video, because you definitely did not want to see me counting this on my fingers and toes. So far this season, 25-26, up here you can see it in the Premier League, and this is Premier League only. It's not all competitions. That's going to be important when we talk about red cards. So in the Premier League, so far for the 25-26 season, there has been a total of 43 penalties awarded. As you can see there, Brentford has had the most penalties awarded to them. There are actually 7 teams in the Premier League who haven't had any penalties so far whatsoever. So I just find that very, very interesting. Also underneath here, if you're interested, bang it into FOTMob and you can actually see the conversion rate there as well. Manchester United have a conversion rate on their penalties of 50%. Thank you very much, Bruno Fernandes. As you can see, Arsenal there is 100%, Palace 100%, Newcastle 100%. But so far into the season, 43 total. Now, in 24-25, which is the season before, as you can see, Liverpool had the most penalties with 9 in the whole season. So who was top there? So Brentford's top. They've already got 7 so far this season. Liverpool topped it last year with 9 for the entire season. So it's possible somebody's going to surpass that. Like Brighton and Bournemouth got 7 in the whole season last year. We've already got Brentford on 7 this year so far. But the total for 24-25 was 83 penalties awarded in the Premier League season. Let me see. And there was one team, I don't know who it was, but there was one team in the 24-25 season that didn't get any penalties. God love them, the only ones. And then the 23-24 season, yes, we are still on penalties awarded. Chelsea led the way in the 23-24 season by receiving 12 penalties. Underneath there, Arsenal with 10, Manchester City with 10, and so on, so on. But you can see there, so Arsenal is second with 10, 23-24. They're nowhere near it in 24-25. They're back up there and thereabouts so far this season. So it's just interesting to see some of the patterns. But then Liverpool last year got loads of them, and they're way down here this season. So what I would say is there doesn't seem to be a specific team every season that's getting all the penalties. So I know sometimes we worry about conscious bias with the referees. Are they more leaning towards one team or another? In terms of penalties awarded, there doesn't seem to be a common thread. Now, if you see one, if you're seeing something I'm not seeing, get it into the comments down below. Let me know if you've noticed something that hasn't immediately jumped out at me from these seasons. But what I want to do is, because obviously we need to be able to compare. So for the whole season of 23-24, there was 107 penalties awarded. That then dropped in 24-25 to 83 penalties awarded. And we have a total of 43 awarded so far this season. Now, we are on game week 17. Let me get this in. Out of 38. Okay? So that means we are, say, 45% of the way into the season. So if we take, let me do my math. So if we take 43 and we're saying that's 45%, and then we want to know what 100% would be. So what we are saying is that so far this season, if it continues on the trajectory that it's on, we will have 95, because you can't have half a yellow card. So, or you can't have half a penalty. It's because I'm going to the yellow cards next. But so you can't have half a penalty. So what we are saying is that there will be 95, if we continue on this trajectory, 95 penalties awarded this season. And what that means is that we would be up on last year, but still drastically down on the 23-24 season. So what that tells me is, while it is a little bit more than last year, this season in terms of penalties isn't drastically crazy compared to last season. Now, Manchester United and Villa still have to play today, so we might skew this figure ever so slightly, because if this weekend is anything to go by, if Villa and United are anything to go by, anything could happen in this match. So this is prior to the Villa United game. It's also prior to the game on Monday, who I can't remember who is playing. But so this might change ever so slightly, but it'll give you an idea of where we're at for the season so far. Now, if we move on from penalties and we go to yellow cards, where are the yellow cards? Yellow cards for the 25-26 season. Okay, so this is so far for 25-26. As you can see, Spurs. And I did not see this coming, because we've all been talking about Chelsea. I did not see this one coming. If you had said to me, who has the most yellow cards so far this season, I 100% would have said Chelsea, and I wouldn't have even put Spurs second. I would have been like that, the likes of a United who's known for getting yellows, the likes of a Villa who's known for being a bit robust. Do you know, there's definitely other teams I would have put up there, maybe even like poor Brentford, and I don't think they're away down here. So actually, Spurs have 44 yellow cards this season in 17 games. That's a lot of yellow cards. It feels like a lot of yellow cards. And this is in the Premier League only. So this does not take account of any other competitions. So far, the total so far in the Premier League is 609 yellow cards so far in 17 match days. And we still have 2 games to go this week. We had 39 yellow cards yesterday. Just yesterday, between the games that played yesterday, 39 yellow cards. So That feels like a lot. Now, if we go to 24-25, there we are. Chelsea's top of the list here. So in the 24-25 season, which is obviously last season, there was a total of 1,549 yellow cards. 99 of those was Chelsea. So I don't think we can say that Chelsea don't have any discipline issues. They're not leading the way so far this year, but 99 yellow cards they got last season. Everybody got some yellows. The least yellow cards awarded last season was to Manchester City with 57. Now, that's a pretty big gap. You can see Arsenal's down near the bottom there as well with only 64. And Spurs actually was in 15th. So Spurs only got 70 total last season. They've already got 44 so far for this season. So that's not a great trajectory for them. And then let's take a look at the 23-24 season. Again, Chelsea tops the list here. These are not lists you want to be topping. They'd rather be top of the penalty list. So in the 23-24 season, in just the Premier League, Chelsea had 105 yellow cards. A huge amount of yellow cards. The total for the Premier League that season was 1,605. 105 of those were Chelsea. And to be fair, Wolves were not far behind them with 100. And Wolves, and they both actually had 4 red cards in the 23-24 season as well. Now let's see. Manchester City, bottom of the list, 52 yellow cards. So for the 23-24 season and the 24-25 season, Manchester City have bottomed out the list for yellow cards. So they have had the least yellow cards given to them in both the 23-24 season and the 24-25 season. Get your thoughts in on that. Arsenal, again, are down near the bottom. Now, they weren't 19th in the last one, but they were quite low down the list. So Arsenal also don't get a lot of yellow cards. Liverpool are quite low here. They're not normally this low on the other seasons. But are you seeing any other patterns that I am not seeing? Shout them out, get them in the comments, because obviously different people will see different things. But what we want to do is work it out what we did the last time. So we have played 17 matches out of a possible 38, which gives us our 45. And so if we say 609 yellow cards is 45%, and we want 100%. So that means that we are on course to have 1,353 yellow cards this season, if it continues as it is. So we had 23-24, it was 1,605. 24-25, it was 1,549. And if it continues as it is so far this season, it is down to 1,353. So it's down. It would be down nearly 200 yellow cards on last season, which is huge. That's an enormous amount to drop in one season. So far, it looks like actually, if anything, we're more disciplined this season. We're awarding less cards. But let's look at the big one. And this is the last one I'm going to be looking at. So let's go back to... guys, I've just realized you can't see the calculator. I was doing the calculations where you can see them on a little window here. You can't see them because I forgot to show you. So sorry about that. I have been working it out. I've been doing all my calculations. You can't see it. And so I'll try and remember for the red cards. What I was doing was building suspense. I did that on purpose. I'm going to show you the calculations this time. But I've called them out for you. So you should be able to do it yourself. You should be able to fact check me, make sure my maths is correct. But you can see the important thing, which is the list. So really that's what we want to focus on. But let's not do a spoiler alert. Let's go to red cards in the Premier League for the 25-26 season. You'll all be shocked to know Chelsea's at the top. Now, what will actually maybe shock you is that it says 4. Why is it only 4? Because it feels like Chelsea have had 10. But they've had 4 in the Premier League, and then they've had 2 in the Champions League, and they might have had 1 in the EFL Cup. But they've only had 4 in the Premier League. So while they've had 7 this season, we are only looking at the Premier League, which makes it look not as bad. But we're only looking at the Premier League for everyone else, so we can't count Chelsea's in all competitions and then only count everybody else for the Premier League. That would be a little bit mean, and we don't want to pick on the Chelsea fans. They're having a rough enough time as it is. So, as we know, Chelsea topped the Premier League for red cards this season with 4. Spurs, and we talked about Spurs in one of our other categories, so Spurs are cropping up here. And they have 2. Wolves have 2, which, to be fair, given where they are on the table, they're doing quite well to keep their heads and only have 2 so far this season. There are 9 teams so far this season that haven't had a red card given to any of their players. One of those teams, you're going to be so surprised, is Manchester City. Manchester City have not had a red card so far this season. Also Liverpool, also Arsenal. So some of the high-profile teams have not received a red card so far this season. Newcastle have 2, United have 1, Villa have 1, Sunderland have 2. So really the prominent ones that don't are City, Liverpool and Arsenal. Now, if we go back to the 24-25 season, Arsenal, who haven't had one yet this season, topped out with 6 red cards for the season. So maybe that's something they worked on through the summer. And we're like, okay, a lack of discipline is letting us down. We can't afford to lose players to suspensions as well as injuries. We need to get rid of this red card stuff, potentially. But they topped out last season with 6. Was there any teams? So there was one team last season that didn't get a red card. I don't know who it is, and I'm not going to spend 20 minutes working it out. If you know who it is, who was it? Last season, which team did not get a red card? I'm scrolling slowly there, so you'll be able to have a look, pause, and if you feel like working it out, please let me know in the comments who was the team last season, the only team not to get a red card. That would be interesting. But the total red cards given out for the 24-25 season was 52. Which sounds like a lot when it's red because they come with suspensions and all sorts. And obviously you've played a match without, at least some of a match without a player. So 52 sounds like a lot until you get to the 23-24 season. And here we see Burnley led the way with 7 red cards in the Premier League in the 23-24 season. There was again one team did not get a red card in the 23-24 season. So again, if you want to work that out, get it in the comments, let us know. There was a total of 58 red cards in the 23-24 season in the Premier League. So it went from 58 in 23-24 to 52 in 24-25. And so far in 25-26, we have 20. Now, remember to share the calculator. So we've established that we're 45% of the way through the season. So if we say 20 is 45%, and we want 100%, that's telling us that we are on course to have 44 red cards this season. So that would mean we would have dropped from 52 for the season down to 44. Now, obviously that can change. More can be awarded over the Christmas New Year season. Things can get a bit manic when it's getting to the end of the season. If there's a race on for the bottom and for the top, which it looks like there might be, given the way the season is going, things might get a bit chaotic. More cards can be awarded. So it's not necessarily saying this is exactly what's going to happen, but I mean, we are 45% of the way through the season. That is almost half. So that would say, look, it's a pretty big chunk to be able to sort of look at the trajectory of where we are going. Based on what we've looked at here, there would be slightly more penalties awarded. However, there would be less yellow cards and less red cards. So let me know your thoughts. There's a lot of numbers there. Which team is your team? Do you feel it's been fair? Did you feel that it was a little bit more chaotic, that the referees were a bit more involved, that we were having more cards? Or did you know? Did you know what I was going to find out by running these numbers? Get your thoughts in the comments down below. Please do smash a like on the video. I will be speaking to you guys later. Obviously, Manchester United play Villa today. I will be watching that, and depending how it goes, I might be speaking to you after it. Have a good day, everybody, and I will talk to you all very soon.